I don't know about you guys, but I'm what some might call a natural born crier. I cry all the time. I cry when I watch commercials. I cry when I rewatch episodes of Ted Lasso. And though it might not always make it into the final cut of our videos, I always cry at the end of a Spacemaker series. I know I can't be alone in my tears. So I asked you guys what your top cry-worthy moments have been on Spacemaker Method, and you delivered. So here's a countdown of some very special Spacemaker moments, and grab your Kleenex. I actually haven't seen these top moments yet. These notes were prepared for me, so we're gonna kind of be reacting in real time together. Number one, Tracy locating her other glove from her grandmother and being brought to tears when finding it. This was a really special moment with Tracy. I remember in other, previous days of working with her, she had mentioned this glove. I think a lot of people might not have realized that Tracy's series was filmed in South Korea. She lives abroad from her family. That strain, that distance, it can really be weighing, especially after being here for so long. It gets easier the longer that you're away, but that doesn't ever make it like easy. It's always a challenge. So to be able to find that for her, in her life on the other side of the world was just a really special moment. Next was Jack's reaction to his closet transformation. To see him come up the stairs, and I don't actually think it made it on camera, but he kept saying and saying, wow, like that's my closet. This is awesome. April's awesome. And you could just see how, I know how space making affects your life. I've seen it happen so many times before, but I know whenever I go into a house, especially some more than others, I have to prove that to them or prove it to other family members that this will change your life. Though the beginning's gonna be the hardest part, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. You're probably not gonna like me very much, but I promise by the end, you're gonna love the results. It's gonna be life-changing for you. I know that, but he didn't know that. And that was the moment that I felt like I did my job. I'm gonna even cry because I told myself don't cry. Absolutely love that family. And I think I share the same sentiment with you guys that we just wanna be invited to all family gatherings from now on. Next one is Danny. Her life visibly changed from the beginning to the end. And when she said the life declutter is real, it was the moment you and Danny realized it was time to say goodbye, and you hugged each other so genuinely, it made me cry. It made me too. Me too. I'm so gonna cry just thinking about it. See, I'm a crier. I can cry just thinking about crying. That was a really special moment too. We knew, we had said so many times before, this is gonna be the last episode. We're gonna finish today. And we kept pushing it and pushing it. But then there was a time where we actually had to be done because I was going to America to film for, a couple of months. We'd be gone, and then I was moving, so I wouldn't be close to her anymore. So we knew this was it. And I think that last day was actually a 16-hour day, which is probably why we were also more emotional than we typically would have been. Maybe, probably not though. Just in some serendipitous moment, Danny and I didn't live very far from each other. So it made sense that we could actually film 20 or 20 something episodes together. So we spent a lot of time going through all of Danny's stuff and also knowing behind the scenes, all of the changes that were happening for her. It was just a proud moment to see her also acknowledge how far she has come. So that was a really special moment. I agree with you. Definitely one of the top cry-worthy moments. I think Dan and I, there was a whole end of that filming that we did too for the outro, and I couldn't even use it because we're just crying. Speaking of things that make us cry, about a year ago, I had a big wake-up call when it seemed like all of a sudden I couldn't fit into my pants anymore. You might even have remembered when we were decluttering my closet, I had a stack of pants and I said, these don't fit me anymore, but I'm gonna set them aside because I know they're gonna fit me again soon. I'd been traveling so much for Spacemaker Method. We had just finally gotten the book out, and I truthfully had just been neglecting my health. So ever since then, especially this year, I've been focusing on getting my health back and taking more care of myself. You've heard me talk about my goals of getting my 10,000 steps a day. I've also been doing a lot more weight training, and now I just started using the Body Pod from Hume Health to kind of supercharge my health and fitness goals. And today's video is sponsored by Hume Health. The Body Pod is the world's first portable body analyzer, which uses 8 frequency sensors to deliver precise weight, full body composition, and heart health measurements. The advanced sensors embedded in the handle are able to scan your torso, arms, legs, and even your heart at an accuracy of 98% compared to medical grade health scans. I always loved those in-body scans that you could do at the gym, but I knew they were expensive and I never thought that there would be an affordable way to do it in your home. I love that this Body Pod doesn't just track my weight, it gives me more nuanced information like muscle mass and body fat percentage, which can help explain weight fluctuations and give me a more well-rounded picture of my health. And besides just getting the readings, I also like getting the AI insights about what to do with this information. What was also really helpful about the information that it gave me specifically for my body, which all of our bodies are so different, this was just for me, was that it said, yes, while your overall fat index is higher than it should be, it actually gave me specific areas. I was like, oh, I see that actually it's higher in my arms, which I feel like that's just really helpful for me so that I know, okay, that's what I'm going to be focusing on in the gym, you know, toning up that area and building my strength in my arms. So that I find very hopeful and helpful. So Black Friday, I did not realize I'm wearing all black for this, and it's a Friday episode. Whoa. Huma's having a site-wide sale right now, and my stackable code is going to get you the biggest savings at up to 50% off. So it's something that you don't want to miss. You can click on the link in the description box of this video and use the code SPACEMAKERMETHOD, and this code is valid for 7 days only. And for viewers in the US, the Body Pod is also HSA and FSA available, so you can get covered for free by your health insurance, and it's a great way to use up any of your remaining HSA or FSA dollars before the end of the year. Oh, this is a really sweet one. Laura's thank yous to the other space makers and how much they inspired her. And we were only at her house for like 3 days, and it was our first stop in Europe. She took me by surprise too, because I didn't know she was going to say that. You never know what people are going to say when you give them the microphone. But that was really sweet. And that moment for me was really powerful. I don't know about you guys, but what I've always wanted to do with this channel is to tell different stories. I don't want to repeat the same story over and over again because it loses impact. Whether or not it's somebody that you completely 100% identify with, there's always something that we can learn from each other, and we can also just root for each other, cheer each other on, and we can also just encourage each other as we go. And that moment was special for me because I realized that's what we had done. Laura had seen the value of watching all of these other series too, and I just felt so proud, like, oh my God, we're doing it. Like, more people are feeling inspired by sharing all of these unique stories from different people around the world. So that was a really special moment too. Oh, okay, this next one. Cassie's son's room was extra special. Watching him be able to make good choices on toys and have a big boy bed were top notch. This was also something that was super special. I think also just being a kindergarten teacher, and it was not only fun to just work with him and like go back to my roots of teaching, but the way that he would light up, especially as he warmed up to Jackson and I over the course of our filming. After we worked in his room and got it cleared, he wanted to go show us his toys, and he kept asking all of us, will you go play with me in my room? And he didn't do that before. And even at the end, when his friends, the nights we were trying to finish in Cassie's space, everybody was playing in Alto's room with him. And to just see him take so much pride in his space and to get those sweet videos after he got his bed, I mean, that's why we're doing this, right? Like, this is life-changing, and it's so impactful for him as a little boy to have his own space. Oh, it just makes your heart melt, honestly. Speaking of more kids, with Jane's son, the most heartwarming moment for me would be when Jane said her son started decluttering and comparing his room with hers. And somebody else said the episodes with Jane really are heartwarming, because being a mom myself, I know how hard it gets. We touched on it a little bit in the series, but a lot of what we talked about wasn't actually on camera. This was such a sweet moment because I saw his room before, which you never saw on camera, but it was pretty wild and crazy, and he's such a creative little boy. And to see him come in and to hear the stories the next day of how he took pride and like voluntarily went through his room and put things back, and then continued to do it even after I left, and found that he was more creative after he calmed his space. I mean, that gives you goosebumps. That is so powerful. Kids are like the best test subjects for how they act whenever you have a calm versus a chaotic room. You can really see the difference in their personality and how much more they thrive in the calmer space rather than the chaotic space. The most I cried after Jane's series was when she sent me the video of her son playing piano, and I think I only shared one of them or like a small clip from it, but he, after we left, was so creatively inspired that he wrote this beautiful piano composition, and it was so beautiful. I just wept, and I emailed Jane afterwards and was like, oh my, this like evoked so much emotion. It was so beautiful. And to know that like this creative boy created that after being in a calm space, it was absolutely beautiful what he created. And I hope that you never, if you're watching this, I hope you don't stop playing piano, because you are incredible, and I can't imagine all the things that you're gonna do. The next one, oh, I do remember this moment too. This was more recent. I cried when Chelsea said it was her first time decorating, and when she saw her stuff out on the shelf and said that she was never allowed to decorate as a child. Not only is this like just a really beautiful moment with Chelsea and to have created that for her, but it's just a good reminder that we don't know what other people's lives are like. We don't know what moments in life have led them to the space that they are now. And that's why we always encourage asking questions over making assumptions. And Chelsea had mentioned this before earlier in our filming, that it was just kind of like this casual remark of, oh, I didn't really get to decorate when I was a kid, so this will be fun. But that moment for her, whenever she finally got to put things out of the box onto the shelf, that was just a really sweet moment for her in her adult life to finally get to set up her home how she wanted. Okay, this is a comment that I have seen repeatedly in the Facebook Coffee and Clutter group, which is our private community. You can join down below, but if you do, make sure that you answer all of the group questions and agree to the group rules. If you don't do that, you'll be automatically declined. But if you do all of those things, you will be automatically added into the group. So in Coffee and Clutter and on YouTube, I've seen from a lot of you guys that Roberta saying, I deserve fresh tea, just hit this emotional chord in you. Isn't that so powerful? And I heard from a lot of you guys too that you're like, this is my new mantra. I deserve fresh tea. And I hate to break it to you guys, but Roberta's series, at least for me, gets more emotional all the way to the end. You're also going to start seeing this switch in her, and it's not I deserve new tea, it's I deserve a home that sparkles. I'm really excited for you to watch that, and I think that's true for all of us. We deserve a calm home, and I hope that if that resonates with you guys, that can be part of your guiding compass as you declutter. I deserve fresh tea. Next up is, a lot of you guys said Julia being so overwhelmed by the pins and then realizing that it's not about the pins. But then a lot of you also said hearing Julia say that she didn't feel she was allowed to read the ending of your book, and now she was living that exact chapter, was incredibly relatable and made me tear up. Me too. I think similar to how we wrapped up Danny's series, it was the end of a very long day at Julia's, and we were all tired from filming. You know, we had been on the road filming for like months, so I feel sorry, if I'm being honest. Jackson edits the intros and the outros of the series, and I just kept thinking as we were filming that I think honestly Julie and I filmed an outro that was 45 minutes long. 45 minutes long, and we're just like crying through half of it, and Jackson was like, I can't use most of this, you guys are crying too much. Julie and I can hold the drama. Julie was the first time that we experimented with getting our clients to film outside of being there, and I love this. I hope this is something that we continue to do in the future, because we get to see that window into what it's like, you know, all the feelings and stuff that might come up whenever you're alone versus whenever you're on camera with all the lights and everything, more people in your house. Julia was just so real. It was really special, honestly, to be able to capture those moments and share it so publicly with everyone, because we've all been there, right? It's not about the pens. It's okay that we all feel this way sometimes, but it doesn't have to stop us from going forward. I think for me, if I can answer this question, what, just off the top of my head, what the top, like, you know, special moment, tearjerker moment has been for me, witnessing, the one that has just stayed in the front of my mind for good reason, is with my mom. Whenever we were filming out in her shed, we were clearing it out, and she actually told me to turn off the camera because she got so emotional. And it's like your family, so of course you're gonna cry. She pulled out my doll that I had as a kid, and it's something that we had looked for so many years. And we just said, I think they got decluttered, and it turns out that they were actually in the bottom of the shed, and they were moldy and not usable anymore. And my mom she kind of lost it. And also her floppy book from her childhood was also one. It's just like a childhood memory of always getting out the floppy book and looking through it at Christmas time. And that book had also got damaged in the shed. Those moments just hit her very hard for many reasons, for the shame of letting things get to that state in the shed. And I think just the loss of those items. She told me in that moment to stop filming because it was just so heavy to her. But in these moments, and what I told my mom was that it's okay to acknowledge these emotions right now, but then we're gonna let them go so that we can move forward. I think the worst thing that you can do for yourself in those moments of feeling that shame and embarrassment around the state of things is to hold on to that and let it keep you from going forward. Because like Roberta said, you deserve fresh tea. And what's most important is that in this moment, you're choosing to move forward. That's all that matters. What's done is done. We can't change that, but we can move forward and you can start fresh. And that's what the Spacemaker Method is all about. By no means are these all of the cry-worthy moments on Spacemaker Method. We've had a lot over the years. These are just some of your favorites. So thank you guys for sharing these with us. And you can always leave your favorite moments down below. We'll see you soon for a new video. Bye. To check out the Spacemaker Method in real homes around the world, catch our Sunday series every Sunday for real life decluttering, or watch our Friday focus videos for short and sweet videos designed to help you strengthen your declutter muscles. And if you really want to kickstart your space making journey, grab a copy of The Mindful Art of Space Making, available in both hard copy and ebook.